I am Danielle Poleway, and this is Sharon Freese. This is my first post-conference for supervisor course ELMP 666XMV. Sharon, thank you so much for letting me come in and observe your AP Stat class last week. I had a really good time in there. I have a couple questions for you. My first question is, how do you think your lesson went?
I thought it was a little rushed and a little teacher-dominated.
Why do you think that?
It was almost like I was, if they weren't giving me the answer I wanted, it was almost like I was feeding it to them instead of giving them time to think it out. But I had an agenda of getting through the 5 questions, so.
Okay. Now that was the first, how many of those AP Stat courses do you have during the day?
3.
3. So did you make any adjustments for the other classes?
Yes. Well, that was the first time I was teaching that lesson. So the next day, I didn't do the modeling with them, and that didn't work out too well.
Oh, okay.
So I made them, so then I stopped them, I modeled the one problem, had them work in their groups on the other 5, and for the last class I just took out a problem to.
Okay, so you were able to shorten up
Yes.
the number of questions, and you think that
Right.
helped with
That
the timing?
definitely helped.
Okay, that's good. Is there anything else that you would have changed in the lesson?
Just, I think they work well together, and they were communicating, which I liked seeing, and it's a process. They need to learn how to think independently. Probably just make them feel a little bit more relaxed about it and not stand over their heads waiting for them to do their presentation.
Well, you've obviously made a very positive environment in the classroom. I could tell that the kids were very engaged and they really felt safe, going out on a limb and talking to each other and presenting. So that's a good thing that you've done in the classroom, and that obviously promoted what you were trying to do. What kinds of questions do you think that you would be able to ask the students so that they could give you more than one-word answers?
Well, kind of like the problems they were working on, what the various situations, like how would something impact the results of a particular experiment, or do we have any variables that can confound things? Things where they really need to think a little bit outside the box. And they seem to like that, though.
Yeah, okay.
Were they giving one-word answers?
I think at one point you were really fishing for what kind of sampling they were using, and they were giving one-word answers. And at some point, somebody from their group wound up explaining why it was that one-word answer that they chose.
Right.
I was just wondering if you were able to assess if each person in the group really understood what the answer was that they were given, Okay. I did notice as you were closing the lesson, you used a ticket out.
Right.
How did you use that ticket out in terms of grading, or was it for instructional purposes?
I graded it, but I didn't put it in the grade book. So I gave them a grade, returned it the next day.
Okay.
It was a non-threatening thing, just so they would see how they would have done if it were a quiz or something. And we discussed, there were 3 questions, and one part of the 3rd question, more kids got wrong than the others. So that's the one we really worked on the next day.
Oh, good. So you did use that ticket out to kind of guide your instruction the next day. Good. So as I know you do, because you're a very good teacher, you've reflected on your lesson, and you've changed it, as you went through the day. So in doing that, I'm wondering, did you also think about how to maybe build in a little bit more time to help the kids answer questions?
I couldn't do it for the 2 classes that came after, because they already had their homework and we had already discussed what they were going to be doing.
Okay.
But I think the next time we do these we do AP problems, I would have them read the problems ahead of time, like as part of their homework. And that way they can start, they don't need to write a solution, they'll do that in their groups, but at least they can start thinking about what the question says, and that'll save that time.
Okay.
So they basically come in and depending on which problem they pick, they'll be ready to start working on it.
Okay, that sounds like a really good idea. I think that would probably work. All right, good. Alright, so as you move forward then, is there anything for the rest of the lessons that go with this section, that you would change or keep the same? Any of those learning structures that you used last week, you think didn't work?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We have 70 AP kids. We have 70 students enrolled in this program, and clearly they're not all at the same level. They're
Right.
not all upper thinkers, and they're not all. So I'm not sure that the lower level kids got it all,
Okay.
and that's something I think. When they were presenting as a group, I think I need to give them each person more responsibility, so I really can assess their individual
Okay,
comprehension of what they're doing.
right. That's good, cause my next question was really going to be, how do you know that they all got it?
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing. And also, I thought the ticket out was a little bit too, maybe put in something for the upper level kids to challenge them a little bit also. Because it was really like, okay, do these 3, quick, hand it in, and it was basically towards the middle group.
Right, okay. Alright, good, sounds good. Alright, well Sharon, thank you so much for letting me come into your classroom and letting us have this conversation.
Anytime.
Okay, and we'll look forward to the next time.
Okay.
Thank you.